Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review, fam. I want to say, first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love and the support, and thank you for all the positive energy. Again, this is not just a channel. This is a community where we come and talk about things dealing with collecting. And fam, today we go rant. Now, you know what? People spend insane amounts of money on statue collecting, far as, their favorite character and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, we all in different tax brackets. We all in different lanes. I respect people with how they spend their money. That's your prerogative, fam. One thing about statue collecting, man, is they look amazing. The figures are gigantic, and I mean, they take up a lot of space. They look heavy, man. I would love to get off into that, but the figures that I looked at that I would like to get, well, not figures, statues, are $1,000 damn. I said, Lord, I almost fell out. Looked at the price, I said, no. If my family won't let me get $400, no. And they didn't have a problem with Galactus. But, again, they say, where you gonna put that stuff at? Like, it's heavy. The stands that I have back here, they're steel with wood on top, plywood on top, cut to fit the shelves, So that's why they stand so, firmly where they at, fam. But you know what? I look at a lot of YouTube, when I'm off work and everything like that. And I noticed that a lot of these cats, man, I'm trying to figure out how they doing this. I'm like, is there an inside, situation that I don't know about, far as with the statue collecting, versus Hot Toys, versus Storm Collectibles, versus Figure Arts, versus NECA, and my whole thing is, man, it's like these statues trump everything. But one thing that I look at is sometimes they're in horrible poses. And that's one thing that you can't fix with a statue. And plus some of the diorama pieces look weird as hell, and see, that's the thing that I say is a miss. Now, I see if you can disconnect the actual statue from the diorama and put it onto another diorama set that actually makes sense, I think it could work. But you know what? That's one thing that kind of, pushed me away from that, saying that statues, I see Dragon Ball Z statues that look amazing. Superman, Spider-Man. Oh, the Iron Man one was crazy as all outdoors, fam. And I was just sitting here looking. I was on Sideshow Collectibles, and they had some of this stuff there. The Ghost Rider on the bike with the diorama set. And I'm like, maybe this is what HasLab should have done. Man, I was just like, y'all joking, right? But that's the thing, fam. It's like, this is like, statues to me are like the Lamborghini of collecting. If Lamborghini, well, we'll put it like this, not the Lamborghini. Statues are like the Bugattis of collecting. Then you have Hot Toys, which is like the Lamborghini. Then, you got Sideshow Toys, not Sideshow, Storm Collectibles, to me, are like the Porsche. Then you have like everything else, Figure Arts, Mayfax, which Masco. A lot of these look like they could be up there with a lot of those, but, I'm going to have to do research on those. But then you have NECA, which, I'm going to have to do something on, because NECA, they stepped up, and some of those figures look amazing. But, again, these statues, man, there's some hella fat poses, man. They got Superman looking like he about to blast into space. Batman, Wonder Woman. Man, I was just looking at this like y'all are joking, right? But I'm looking at the statues and look about this big. I said, wait, hold on. That look heavy. Like, come on. That's the thing, fam. I'm talking about, the shipping. Then the thing that worries me about this is it's going to be shipped to you. These are statues. Now, I understand that these companies know how to pack things correctly, and, they are very good at what they do. But fam, we have underpaid postal workers, underpaid FedEx people, underpaid UPS people, underpaid DHL people. So, and Amazon people. So, you got people kind of frustrated with all this heavy ass stuff you ordering. Shit, just might throw it on the ground. I once had a he was bad as hell. So the postal man came and, all the stuff that I had, he came to the house, he dropped it in the house, he dropped it on the floor like he was mad because all this heavy ass stuff. But when he dropped it, he broke something. And see, fam, that's my point. You got a lot of people out here who pissed. They see you ordering all this shit. They trying to figure out how could you afford it. And, they upset because maybe they can't. My whole thing is you got a lot of people in a hell of a lot of situations that has nothing to do with you, but yet they mad at you. Fam, that's just my thought process. These statues are amazing. If somehow I become rich or famous, I might get off into it. It's just like that in hot toys. My wife said, you know what? She said, if you was rich, she said, I couldn't blame you for getting into it because you have the money to afford to get this stuff. But she said right now, with the way the economy is, she said, you have to be very careful with how you spend your money. And I was just sitting there like, damn, she actually has a point. You got to think about all this stuff, fam. When pieces are that much a piece, some pieces, like I said, could range $1,000. Just think about it. You got 10 on the shelf. That's 10 grand right there. That's a car. That's part of somebody's tuition. Dude, it's real. That's half of somebody's, pay for the year, in certain cases. So, you looking at it like this, like, that's a lot. And this is why I say you have to really be careful how you get off into this. Because some of these situations are slippery. You can get into them real quick. But, before long, you realize you done sank so much of money into this. And, some of this stuff may not be worth anything once you try to resell it. Because, once it's out the box and everything like that, you got to keep the box the boxes it came in for if you want to one day to try to resell it. You could put it back in a box, and tape it back up and ship it, But right now, fam, I'm just looking at it. I don't know if I would want to go into that right now. Again, space, depending on how big it is, how much it weighs. Again, shelves only take so much, Again, they may not be super duper heavy, but I wouldn't want to spend $1,000 on a damn statue that's light as hell too. You get what I mean? You want it to weigh something for that price. You get what I mean? Fam, these are just the thoughts that are just popping into my head. These are just things, I want to get off into this stuff. But again, like I said, it's okay to get like 1 or 2 pieces as statement pieces. Or if you got like 3 shelving units, 3 pieces, like 1 or 2 or 3 on the top, 1 on each shelving unit on the top, because it's easier to see when it's on the top. You don't have to adjust shelves or anything. You stick it on the top, it looks a whole lot different. And that's how I look at this, man. But I'm trying to figure out, it's nothing wrong. He said, I'm so proud of people who are actually doing that thing, showing us on YouTube what it's like to have statues and, what goes into, keeping them clean and, maintaining them. And I'm like, damn, that's a hobby in itself, maintaining this shit. I'm like, man, but you know what? There's no hate. There's no shade. Man, I take my hat off to them, man. They doing it big. See, those are the lanes that you thrive to be in later on. Like maybe if everything works out good enough, you can get your situation flowing just like that. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be mischievous or anything like that, mischievous or, downplay people's accomplishments or anything. I'm just saying, man, when it's time to step up, that's how you want to step up. But you want to make sure all your other bases are covered. Your mortgage, food on the table, the utilities, gas in your cars, car notes paid, insurance bills. And, all of that stuff is covered. You just don't want to have stuff and just stuff and ain't shit done. You so scared they don't throw you out, something's up, I don't want to feel like that. So I want to make sure that all my bases are covered. And this is what I'm talking about. In collecting, that's something that you have to think about each and every time when you're collecting, that your bases are covered. A lot of us don't cover our bases. A lot of us just want what we want. I had a friend who told me, he said, wait, you ask your wife when you buy stuff, you just don't up and buy stuff? I said, now, if it's like $30 under, $50 or something, no. I said, even $100, no. But when it started creeping up into $200, yes, I'm going to talk to my significant other. That's what you're supposed to do. You just out buying shit that cost $1,000 and you ain't talking to nobody. I see if this was your business. And again, I understand for those YouTubers who do this because, again, this is part of how they make money. By buying this stuff and showing it on YouTube, showing you everything about the actual item, they are able to recoup money from this. And they are able to write this shit off at the end of the year. Not all of it, but a portion of it because they're making money off of it. That's just what I mean, fam. Again, statue collecting is not for the faint of heart. It's not for like people who are just starting out. Like I say, with people who are just starting out, I tell them to go to Dollar Tree again and get the Final Factions, get the smaller figures for $1.25, and see if you like it. If you do, graduate up to like Hasbro, Mattel, and if you like a little bit more, graduate yourself up to NECA. And from there, sky's the limit. My point is start slow. Don't start too fast because, you can crash and burn and end up with a lot of stuff that you don't want. And you may not recoup your money if you sold it. So just keep that in mind. My whole process here is not to tell you that you should sell your collection. That ain't what I'm saying. But, if you got rid of your collection, you should be able to get something for it. That's what I'm trying to say. It shouldn't be where you're getting nothing. You get what I mean? But with that being said, fam, thank you again for watching. Till later, peace out.